Hi, in this video we are going to introduce the level of detail in the rendering. Let's first open our example file, the 52 render test scene, and open that. Just imagine that if your scene contained a very huge number of agents, such as the more than 10,000 or the several tens of thousands. And in this case, you want your agents can be rendered as the low resolution geometry if that is very far from the camera. So we can use the level of detail the feature can achieve this result. And let's just make that 100. Now, so this is the Miami Express, so that it can only render 100 agents. Let's make that distance the bigger, and make the comb like this. Make the big noise. Okay, and we want the agent to be very far from the cameras with low resolution geometries. Let's first test our render. Let's place all of our agents. As we mentioned before, we need to make the agent cache for the first step. This is E drive ABC. Anyone should be existed inside of your hard drive. And render test the test LOD. And make agent cache, and enable the agent cache so that your scenes can be played back interactively. So let's render it with our VRE. Let's open the render setting and change the renderer to the VRE, and then fill the post translate script. Control C and put it right here. Okay, close. And then we need to do some of the render setup in the renderer. We are going to use the VRE, so we need to export the render contents drive BBC, and with name is VR test LOD. Anything should be off, should be fine. And click the setup current frame, and now we can render it. You can see that your scene has been rendered out without any problem. And what I'm going to do is render the very far agents with low resolution geometry. Let's import some of the geometry inside of our scene. You can see that at this time we'll use the high resolution geometries. Let's just import MA and scene. There's a low res man which we created for you for this demonstration. Let's open that. You can see that this is very simple on the body, and the 3 different type of head. We are going to randomize the geometry. They also with the low resolution geometries. And the first step, we needed to click the Miami contents check. So you can see that some of the empty group has been built for you, and there's an LOD far the group. This is exactly and equal to the geometry, but we only put the low resolution geometry inside of this group. So what I'm going to do, the first step, we needed to select all of the geometry and middle click and drag all of them to the LOD far this group. And we want to randomize the geometry, and we needed to group all of the heads into the group. Control G. And rename this to the better naming convention. It's random head GRP. Okay, so that the first level we needed to render that for sure, and the second level we needed to select any one of them for rendering. And then you can see that in this node there's an attribute, the more than distance here. So we needed to fill a content here, so that if that is the more than this distance between the cameras to that agent, it will use the geometry inside of this group. So for example, let's just do some measurement. This is 0, and this is about 500. So we need, let's fill that about 500. Okay. Or even bigger, and 6. Okay, and let's put our camera right here, and like this, and place all of our agents and select a frame like 18. just like this. And oh, one thing that's very important, we need to mention that these geometry should bind onto the origin agent, so that you can see that our origin agent can drive the geometry in this group, but it cannot drive the agents here. And you cannot drive the geometries here. So let's select all of geometry and then select the bone and the skin bind skin, and smooth bind. We just use the joint, the hierarchy mode apply, so that at this time when you move around the origin agent, you can see that your geometry inside of these groups can be deformed. Okay, and let's place our agents and put the frame to the 18 and put our camera right here, and then export these contents again. Please remember that we needed to export the contents again, because when they exporting, the low and high resolution information will be right to the hard drive. So at this time, directly render that. You can see that the agents in the far distance is actually rendered by the low resolution geometry, just like this. And if you change the parameters, like about 800, or let's do that again, set up current frame. You can see that the bigger of this number, the faster. The more agent to render as low geometry, the faster the export times. Okay, set up current frames already done. Let's render it. You can see that less of agents will use this low resolution geometry. And let's just change this to about 300, and we can set up current frame and render that again. Even more agents will select the low resolution geometry. So this is our level of detail feature of the MyArmy. Thank you for watching. See you next time.